Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. Recently I did a video about the big box of complete Marais pièces de Viol, and they are amazing works. It really is a wonderful set, and I mentioned there briefly that that set does not contain perhaps Marais' most famous work, Le Sonnerie de Sainte Geneviève du Mont de Paris, a wonderful evocation of church bells with a basso ostinato that goes dum bum 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 for like 12 minutes or 10 minutes, 7 minutes. It depends how fast you do it. It's really cool. And in fact, I remember very vividly that the Sonnerie was a very, very popular work on like public radio before the Pachelbel canon took over everything back in the 1980s. I mean, I'm sure the Sonnerie still gets played now and then. I don't listen to public radio anymore, or the radio stations, but still, it's a delightful work. And so I wanted to give it a little love, and some other works too by Marais that are not in his pièce de viol. And this is a wonderful disc that has some of that stuff. His late publication, actually, it had contained 3 works. One of them was the Sonnerie, and this was like in the 1720s or somewhere around there, 1730s, 1720s, before he died. When did Marais die? I can tell you, actually, because then I can tell you when it was published, because this was about 3 years before. There he is, 1728. So this was about 1721, 22, somewhere in there. Anyway, so the Sonnerie is on here, and it's beautifully performed by the Trio Sonnerie. There they are, the Trio Sonnerie, which consists of, oh my goodness, yes, Monica Huggett, of course, the fabulous Baroque violinist, Emilia Benjamin, viola da gamba, and James Johnstone, harpsichord. That's the trio that does it. I've actually heard the Sonnerie performed orchestrally, and it's marvelous that way, too, I have to say. But, it's a little extra body to the string tone. But it's still a beautiful work, and it's marvelously performed and recorded on LINN. This is a LINN recording. But also on here are the other 2 works. One of them is the Sonata à la, let's see how you pronounce this, à la Marésienne. It's so hard to see this. It's one of those dark things with dark brown type. Yes, Marésienne. There we go. The sonata is a single movement containing within it the traditional, Allemande courant, gigue, dancey things and other stuff. It's 12 minutes long, and it's extended. I mean, this whole publication of Marais was an example of his desire to push the limits of what instrumental music of the day could be and write pieces of length that were somehow joined together. And the biggest example of that is La Gamme, the first thing on here, also known as the scale. A gamme is a scale. And it's a 30-some-odd minute-long extravaganza containing 45 small sections. And he calls it the scale in the form of a little opera. That is, it's dramatic, it's fun, it shows Italian influence, which of course was like always a big controversial deal in France ever since Lully popped up. And it really is wonderful. Marais suggested grouping the sections into actual movements or units, he says, so as not to bore the listener, which really is not a risk here. And the way the scale operates is he goes up and down with each section being in a different key or based on a different tone of the scale. And it's the music is delightful, and it's really the piece is sui generis. There is nothing like it in Baroque music, French or otherwise. It's a remarkable work. Fabulously well written and enjoyable. So these 3 works are sort of the other thing you need by Marais. Then we also have here, wait a second, there's also, as a special bonus, we get a suite for viol and continuo, or just harpsichord alone. Actually, they mixed them, by Antoine Forqueray, who was about, a decade and a half younger than Marais, and he was crazy. I mean, everyone said he was crazy. He wanted to be the greatest gamba player in the universe, and he was eccentric, and he wrote 300 pieces, of which only 29 survived, believe it or not, published by his son, who he tried to have banished and arrested, on charges of debauchery. I mean, they got along fabulously. But the first suite is here. This has a bunch of movements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're all named after people. La Laborde, La Forqueray, La Cotin, La Belmont, La Portugaise, might be a person of some kind, and La Couperin, the finale. And these were published both in arrangements for viola da gamba and harpsichord, and also for harpsichord solo. And these players present a mixture. And they are wonderful performances, and the music is fun, interesting, full of personality and a sort of experimental spirit in the case of Marais, who at the very end of his life was really trying to push the boundaries of the standard French dance suite and, the nature of gamba music up to that point. And so you really should hear this. It's well worth acquiring. And like I said, it's with Trio Sonnerie on LINN Records, and it's just terrific. So give it a shot. See what you think, especially the Sonnerie, which is so much fun. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.